Well, hello there, and welcome to CityLine. We're zooming once again from my kitchen into your home or office, and it's wonderful to be with you. Later on, we'll be talking with the United Way. They are here to talk about their celebration campaign kickoff. 100 years they have to celebrate. So Donna Panapito will be here to talk with us. Tacoma Concert Band will be here. Yes, they're back finally to talk about what they've been doing and what you can look forward to. Emergency Food Network is in to talk about their supplies and their wonderful services that they provide to our community. The Humane Society of Tacoma Pierce County will be here with our pet of the week. And with me right now are two very familiar, lovely faces who are here to talk about the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Please join me in welcoming Wendy Morris. You are the chair of Walk to End Alzheimer's, among other great things you do for our community. Hello, Wendy.
Good morning, Amanda. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, of course, over here with the beautiful floral backdrop, which I'm so glad to see, is Karen Merez. Karen, you are the event chair board member for the Washington State chapter. Karen, thanks for being here.
It's good to be here.
Well, Wendy, let's start with you. The Pierce County Walk to End Alzheimer's returns, are you ready? In person. This is huge for us, given the setbacks that we have currently been riding based upon our numbers. Tell me a little bit of what people can expect.
So, yes, we are back in person on Sunday, September 26th at the lovely Dune Peninsula down by Point Ruston. The festivities are starting at 11 o'clock with an opportunity for folks to come down, check out the beautiful new venue we have, visit with our exhibitors, our sponsors, and then we'll have the kickoff ceremony and the Promise Garden starting at noon. So we just invite everybody to come on down and participate.
So, Wendy, you mentioned that beautiful phrase, Promise Garden. What is a Promise Garden?
So the Promise Garden is filled with the flowers that represent the different aspects of people, who are interested and involved with Alzheimer's. So we have the purple flower, which is for people who have lost loved ones to the disease of Alzheimer's or another dementia. We have the blue one for people who are living with Alzheimer's. We also have the yellow flower that represents people who care for somebody with the disease, and the orange flower is to show support for the cause and looking for the cure for Alzheimer's and all other dementias.
Oh, beautifully said. And I couldn't help but look at Karen's background and kind of just check off all the flowers I received, but also just the people I know, my family included, as we are a part of that circle. So before I talk with Karen, Wendy, I have to ask, will there be an option for people who might not be comfortable in a large gathering?
Absolutely, Amanda. Thank you for asking that. One of our mottos this year is where there's a walk, there's a way. Mm-hmm. So while we will have physical distancing, sanitary hand sanitizer available everywhere, it will be outdoors, it will be under 500 people. We also will have masks available, and guess what? They're purple, available for folks if they would like to have one. And they can walk at home as well, because again, where there is a walk, there is a way. And whether you walk at Dune Peninsula or walk in your neighborhood, we just encourage you to walk.
That is such a beautiful option, to step out of your front porch, to maybe even look at your neighbor and to say, can we walk around the block together to end Alzheimer's? For me, I love flowers, I love gatherings, but that's very tempting to walk around the block with my neighbor. Karen, you've been a part of the Alzheimer's Association and walk for many, many years. Why is this important to you? Because usually people who are really involved have some kind of a backstory.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So I wear this pin in most of my endeavors with the Alzheimer's Association because it's a picture of my mom and myself taken back in 2014, which was the year we lost my mom to Alzheimer's. So my very first connection with the Alzheimer's Association was seeking information as a support person for my father, who was her full-time caregiver for the length of time that she was able to be at home. Later on, she went into memory care, and that's where that photo was taken at the Weatherly Inn. So after she had passed away, I decided I wanted to make a difference for families that were still going to be dealing with this. There's also a worry, and this happens with a lot of folks that have had loved ones with this disease, that, you know, you worry about your own future with this disease. You know, the numbers, you know, the staggering numbers of how many folks right now have this disease and what's projected. And so there are a number of other family members that I've had with other forms of dementia as well. So I wanted to make a difference. So I jumped in and made my first walk team in 2015. In 2016, I joined the committee. And then just kind of continued along that line. Then I got involved with public policy, state advocacy, talking to lawmakers at our state capitol, eventually went to Washington, D.C. for our National Advocacy Forum, talking with legislators there about some really big funding for research, and eventually was invited to join the board. And so I gladly applied to and joined, and am trying to make a difference that way, and working with the Care and Support Committee on the board.
Wow, what a journey. That in itself is a very good book, my dear, let me tell you. So Karen, the Alzheimer's Association does a great deal in just what you just said of all the opportunities that you've had to volunteer and to show up. What all do they provide? If I'm somebody who doesn't know, give me like the top three highlights.
Oh boy. Okay. There's so much that they do. So much. Okay. So first of all, I think probably the most important thing is the Alzheimer's Association is here to provide support to caregivers and individuals with this disease with their 1-800-272-3900 24/7 helpline. And so calling into that number will connect callers to care consultants who offer support and guidance, problem solving, crisis assistance, and can also connect them to more localized resources. So that is a really big asset that we provide for folks. And our fundraiser walk helps to fund these things. We also raise money for research, and that's huge because, of course, our goal is to end Alzheimer's. And so that research is very important. And so a huge amount of the money we raise goes to that end. And then there's also educational programs, and that's been a bit of a challenge during the pandemic, but we've been pretty good at providing some webinars. There are webinars that are coming up in this month and next month, and all that can be found at the alz.wa/org website. I might have said that wrong, maybe alzwa. Anyway, Alzwa is if you put that in, you'll have it. Sorry, I'm just a little jumbled this morning. I get emotional sometimes after talking about my mom. There's educational webinars, there are programs. We're even planning a program coming up, a conference in 2022 for folks in Washington State that are caregiving at home. So there are a number of things that are provided through our walk money and the support that we get from our community and our generous sponsors.
I love what you have to say, and it's okay to get emotional because we want people working in this field that have passion and have what we call skin in the game. Wendy, let's, in this last 2 minutes here, let's talk about Alzheimer's numbers and the impact on the community. What are some of those stats that Karen mentioned?
So Nationally, there are over 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's or other related dementias, and more than 11 million friends and families who are unpaid caregivers. And that's where a lot of the support does come in. Locally, we have over 12,000 people in Pierce County living with Alzheimer's or other dementias. And there's also an impact for unpaid caregivers who are working, who have to take time off to help their loved ones. So it's a major impact community-wide. It's not just about an individual or an individual family. And also, we know that Alzheimer's disproportionately impacts African Americans and the Hispanic population. For African Americans, they're twice as likely to get Alzheimer's. So research, support, it's all so needed and helped through the funds raised by the walk.
I love that. We've been showing the number in front of both of your beautiful faces where they can go to the website or call to register. Wendy, in this last minute, tell me who you'd like to thank.
Well, there are so many, and I'll start with the wonderful walk planning committee that I've had the honor to chair for the last couple of years during some very difficult times, but everybody is passionate about it. And we've got great supporters throughout the community, great support staff through the Alzheimer's Association. And most importantly, we have the people we're doing it for, because we're honored to be able to support them, to help them in all ways that we can. And it's in honor of them that we do this work.
Oh, I love that. And, you know, I want to say thank you to the two of you for your 24/7, 365-day a year involvement, and also just the spiritual walk that you do with this event and with this illness. It's not something that you clock out of. It's something that you have to continually monitor and try to find some balance in. So I thank you both so much for being here, for the work that you've done, and the teams that we could not get on this Zoom. And I wish you a great and sunny walk. How's that?
That would be great.
Thank
All
you.
right. We have Julie from the Pierce County Humane Society with the pet of the week. Julie, who do you have that needs a forever home?
Hi, Amanda. I got Penelope here, and is she just the most beautiful girl? She's also as sweet as she is beautiful. She is a 1-year-old. Oh, there you go. You even got kisses. She is a 1-year-old border terrier mix, and she is still very much a puppy girl. So obviously she is a love bug. But she is going to have energy to spare. So she would love an active family. I think she'd be the perfect dog to take out camping and, you know, out to the lake and all that good stuff. She is only a year old, and so we just think that she would definitely do well with some good training, working on all those manners. First thing she wants to do is jump up on you and give you kisses. So if you are interested in Penelope or any of our pets here at the shelter, you can definitely check out our website, thehumanesociety.org. And you can also come on down. Our shelter is at 2608 Center Street, and we are open 7 days a week from 11 to 6. We look forward to seeing you.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
People of the Pacific Northwest, we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Aren't we lucky? Water flows from high up in the Cascades all the way down to the Sound. Small actions make a big difference. So pick up after your pets to keep bacteria out of local streams. Because Puget Sound starts here, and here, and here, and here.
Welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have two wonderful individuals who belong to an organization that I cannot love anymore. I'm talking about Emergency Food Network. Please join me in welcoming Elizabeth Howe. Elizabeth, you are the Development Director of Emergency Food Network. It's so good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you. We are always so grateful to be on the show. So good to see you too, Amanda.
Oh, thank you, my dear. And you brought back somebody who I have not seen in a long, long time, even longer than you, Elizabeth. And that is Claire Eigen. Claire, you are the Development Manager for Emergency Food Network. Welcome back, Claire.
Thank you. It's so good to be back.
It's great to have both of you here. So, Elizabeth, what's new at Emergency Food Network?
You know, we always have new things going on, but one of my favorite things to talk about right now, we are always saying, hey, come and volunteer with us. We have our repack, we have our Mother Earth Farm, and our Mother Earth Farm, we're like, come volunteer, but you might be pulling some vegetables and pulling some weeds. But now it's nothing but harvest. So we are harvesting all the time. So that is one of the new things that we're kind of doing right now. And then our home delivery program is growing so much. It's 200 families every single week, which is over 700 community members, which is just such a wonderful program. So those are two of the bigger things. And of course, event season is happening in a different way, though, obviously this year.
So speaking of events, I hear you have several events coming up that I always look forward to. So what are they? And then we're going to have Claire talk about one here in just a sec.
Absolutely. So the first is Empty Bowls, which, normally it's such a beloved community event. We normally have it in November, but because of everything that's going on, we really wanted to have it this year. So instead of having it indoors, we are going to have it outside at the end of the month. So we are so excited about that. And then Abundance, which, Abundance is just such a wonderful event. It will be live. We'll have a live event and then an online auction, but hopefully next year we can be back in person.
Oh, I love that. And as somebody who is connected to your home delivery, I have to tell you that home delivery, it is a huge player in ending hunger in Tacoma and Pierce County. So thank you so very much for that. Claire, we're talking empty bowls. Empty bowls. I remember the first empty bowl.
Wow.
So tell us, how is this event going to happen outside with soup and people and lines?
Yeah, so we're making a couple big changes to the event this year. The biggest being that it is in September instead of during the holiday season, our hope being that we can get the last of this good weather that we've had this summer. So we will be at Pioneer Park Pavilion on September 25th, which is next Saturday from 1 to 3. If you have been to Hunger Walk, you know exactly where to find us. We're in that same space. We have a lot of safety protocols in place to make sure that community members are safe. One big change is we are not going to have soup this year. We're not going to have any food. We just want to make sure that people can stay masked up the entire time and stay safe. And folks will be going through line a little bit differently. So we have some ways to make sure that community members are safe. But we just love this event so much. And we know that people look forward to Empty Bowls all year long. So we really did not want to go another year without it. So we're going to have it outside and make it as safe as possible for people.
You described that so succinctly and with such clarity. I thank you for that, because we have so much going on right now. And as we're constantly pivoting and shifting based upon scientific numbers, it gets hard to explain what it is we're doing, but not with you, Miss Claire. And Claire, while you were talking, I was thinking, do I have enough time to jump up into my kitchen cupboard and pull down one of my empty bowls, because it's my favorite bowl, but I didn't. So Claire, where do these bowls come from?
I should have had a bowl with me today. That was my mistake. But they come from artists all throughout the community, and they are absolutely beautiful. So we have, high school kids that are taking ceramics classes that make them, and then we have professionals who make them and also open up their studio to people and allow hobby artists to come and make bowls, or students to come and make bowls. And we get hundreds of bowls throughout the year from artists, and they make them all year long for us. And they are constantly calling and emailing saying, I have bowls, where do I bring them? When do I bring them? And they're just so beautiful.
Well, this is one of the great things about EFN, because there's so many, is these bowls. And I actually did hop up while you were talking. So here is my bowl. This bowl sees so many servings of oatmeal and avocado, cucumber, and tomato. So, and I've had this bowl for probably a decade. And I love it. And don't ever touch my bowl, okay? So, Claire, obviously, because I've been to this event and I've done the indoor with all the beautiful soup, and there are always so many people helping out. Do you need volunteers for this event?
We do, yes. Volunteers make everything happen at EFN. We love our volunteers so much. So we could still use some volunteers to serve as parking attendants and help folks find their parking spot at the park on their way to the event, to act as cashiers and sell bowls, and then wrap them up so that they get home safely with people. Volunteers need to be at least 16 years or older, and people can contact our volunteer and activities manager, Sam Cook, who's been on the show before, at samc@efoodnet.org, or call us at 253-584-1040.
And I would strongly encourage our viewers to volunteer. It is the best feeling. If you are feeling down, if you're feeling like you're just a little bit short on hope, volunteer for this event. It's contagious. Another event that the name says it all, Elizabeth, is abundance. So if somebody has not been to the EFN event called Abundance, what is it?
Of course. So our Abundance event is a dinner and a live and silent auction. We also have a wonderful dessert portion of the event. And normally it is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Over 400 community members attend. We really, truly love this event and just have such a great turnout from the community. Unfortunately, this year we are virtual again, but that's okay because we still have really great things planned. We have a brand new video that we are so excited to showcase. And I think the thing that's so amazing about, turning events virtual is still the amount of community support that you receive, not just from like the individuals who, donate auction items, whether they are, staycations or, a gift certificate to a local restaurant. But it's also all of the companies that still participate and sponsor. And so we are just so excited and grateful. So the two big things to kind of keep in mind. So we do have our actual online auction that happens from the 18th through the 24th, and then our live stream event, which is on October 23rd. And that's when we will highlight our brand new video. You'll get to see some words from our CEO and board members. So we are very excited about that. And it's so easy to sign up. It's completely free. You just click a little button. It takes all of 2 seconds and you are registered and good to go.
Oh, the easiness of that makes up for us not being able to say, I love those shoes you have on. So there we go. Claire, what kind of silent auction items will be available? Because I'm thinking, ooh, I get to go on and do some shopping.
We have so much great stuff, and it's perfect timing because people can get their holiday shopping done early and do it through us rather than dealing with the malls or shipping and stuff like that. So we've got lots of great trips, and they're local, which is so nice. You can get away, but also know that you can drive there and get there safely. So we've got some Oregon coast stays and Washington coast stays. So nice and local, but still getting out of the house because I know we're all sick of being at home still. We've got a great Seahawks package so that people can have a great barbecue. And then there's a cornhole board that goes with it for having an at-home tailgate or barbecue during football season. And then, of course, dessert is always such a fabulous part about Abundance. And we're bringing back dessert at your doorstep. And so people before the event can bid on a cake, and then we'll deliver a really fabulous cake to their house so that they can enjoy it during the live stream event on October 23rd.
Ah, I love that. And Elizabeth, just tell us how we can register, but also if we want to watch the live stream on October 23rd.
Yeah, so we are really going to do a great job of making sure that you guys have all the information you need. Truly, we are going to send out an email. You will click a link, and it is that easy. It will also be up on Facebook, so we'll make sure to be sending out all the details.
I love that. So, Claire, last question is, let's talk about the Nourishing Neighbors campaign. First off, what an amazing title. So what is it?
So the Nourishing Neighbors campaign is a partnership with Safeway and Albertson stores. And during the month of September, when you see the donation screen, when you're checking out at our partner stores, those donations come to us and they help support our home delivery program, which is really great. This is our 5th year partnering with Safeway and Albertsons through this campaign, and it is just truly wonderful. We are so grateful to Safeway and Albertsons for partnering with us again this year. And every dollar donated to EFN distributes 5 meals. So I know it can feel like a $1 or a $5 donation at a register might not make a big difference, but because of our ability to make that donation really spread out throughout the community, it's going to have such a big impact. So that is through the end of September.
I mean, that is the latte factor. $5 gives 25 meals. And when we say meals, we're not talking snacks. We're talking meals, which is so impressive. So Elizabeth, last question. How can people get involved and be a part of all of the goodness that EFN is known for?
Absolutely. Well, like I said at the beginning, come and volunteer at our Mother Earth Farm. I mean, it is truly so much fun to pull vegetables. Come and do that. We also have our repacks, and we really do focus on the safety protocols at each location. And so you wear a mask, you social distance, and so it's still just a really wonderful event where you can be around people. You could also sign up for all of our social media. So we have Facebook and Instagram, and follow us and like us and share us and really kind of get the word out about us. That's what our donors do and our board members do, who are just truly so wonderful.
I love it. I want to thank you both so much for all of the work that you do and the teams behind each of you, and also shoulder to shoulder that we could not get on this Zoom. EFN is, it's the Emergency Food Network, but it's equally fantastic and nourishing. So thank you so very much for all that you do. And I'll see you at Empty Bowls. How's that? I think it's time for a new bowl.
Great. Yeah.
Love that.
All right. We have much more to come on CityLine. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick break.
People in Tacoma of all ages and incomes deserve the opportunity to grow up and grow old in their community, which means we must increase housing choice, affordability, and supply. While there isn't an overnight fix, we can take steps today to allow for different types of housing that respect the scale and design of our neighborhoods, while helping us thrive now, in a decade, and beyond. Learn more at cityoftacoma.org/home-in-Tacoma.
The strength of America, our values, our way of life hasn't just been won on the battlefield. It's won every day in our communities when we come together, extending hands of compassion, service, and hope to those who need it most. For over 100 years, the American Legion has been strengthening communities across our nation by providing life-saving help and support to our veterans and neighbors during times like we're facing today.
It's what the Legion's all about.
From blood drives to distributing food, from responding to emergencies and protecting the most vulnerable among us, our mission is making America's communities stronger.
We are one family, and therefore we care.
We are the American Legion, veterans strengthening America. To learn how you can help, visit legion.org.
Each day in Tacoma, more than 420 adults request beds at homeless shelters. More than 100 will be turned away because there isn't space.
welcome back to CityLine. My next guests are guests that I have not seen since we were in the studio pre-COVID on the comfy couch, and it makes my heart so happy to see them. I'm talking about Tacoma Concert Band. Please join me in welcoming back Gerard Morris. You are the conductor and artistic director of Tacoma Concert Band. The last time I saw you was in a Starbucks and we both had a mask on.
This is true. It's great to be back, Amanda. Even if we're not on the comfy couch, it's always great to see you.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. It's almost kind of hard because I want to give both of you a hug, but at least I get to hear you. This wonderful person who is also with us today, Morris Northcutt. You are Tacoma Concert Band Board President. You got some big shoulders there, mister. And you are also the principal trumpet player. And that is a career outside of all of this. I see you all the time traveling, airports, hotel rooms, concerts. So welcome back, Morris. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really always excited to be with you. I enjoy it a lot.
Well, thank you. And I know we're having a little bit of connectivity issues, so we're hoping you can hang in there with us as long as you can. Gerard, tell us about, I can't believe I'm actually even going to say it, this upcoming season, because you're going to have a season.
Yes, we are actually. And, for all of the arts organizations around the country, around the world, it's been so difficult to figure out how to do things safely, when should we be coming back, how long should we wait until we do that. And we're all of the arts organizations in this area are coming back and have seasons that are planned for this upcoming year. We've decided to start the season with our annual holiday concert, which will be in December. So the first cycle of the season, which normally that concert takes place in October, what we've decided to do is, because we've been apart for over a year, to come back together in smaller groups, what I call sectionals. So it's section by section. We've been coming back each Wednesday to get reacquainted with one another, to see each other's faces, to get together in the Pantasia studio where we rehearse, and get our music for the holiday concert, and just start getting back into the groove, if you will, of playing again. So it's been going really, really well. So the first cycle is sectionals coming together. If everything stays on track and on schedule, we'll be coming back together as a full ensemble in the middle of October to begin preparations as an ensemble for the holiday show and in December, which is going to feature like holiday music from around the globe, really. And we're going to be speaking about different holiday traditions and trying to unite the community in different diverse ways for the holiday season. Then the next concert will be in February. That's our Sousa Spectacular, which is always a crowd favorite. It's hard to believe our last concert actually was the Sousa concert, and we do it every other year. But since we weren't together last year, it's every other year. So it's the second year. And so we're going to do it again. And then the final concert of the season will take place in April of 2022. And that one is titled One Hand, One Heart. And it's about coming together as a community and expressing our love and our relationships for one another. And it's going to be a really wonderful, wonderful concert. That one will also feature our student soloist winner, which is selected each year. So we're really excited about the season.
Congratulations to all of you for working through this, because COVID has been very hard across the board, and then it has affected different industries in different ways. Morris, how has Tacoma Concert Band managed during COVID?
Well, it's definitely been a challenge. As a board, we've been trying to reach out to our band members. I think we've had a couple of what we called cocktail hours via Zoom with our band members, invited all of our band members, just connecting with them. We've had board meetings every month since COVID. I think we may have missed one or two, but to talk about where we're at, how we're thinking, how we're feeling about COVID. Was there any chance? Were there any thoughts about getting back together or encouraging band members to get back together? And, obviously the answer was no for most of that. Safety has been number one for us, but that's how we've been connecting. And then we're looking at updating our social media and trying to find new ways to connect with folks. Most of our band members are on Facebook, and so that's been really great. We have a members only page, and so there's a communication going through that platform as well.
That's impressive, because as I sit here and interview organizations, and as we thought we were coming out of COVID, nope, we're back in with the variant. When I ask them that question, most of the time I hear we haven't met. And that's part of the issue, is we couldn't get everybody together. So this says a lot about that one hand, one heart that Gerard was talking about. Morris, TCB relies heavily upon volunteers. Tell us more about that role right now, because I'm sure as we start to move forward, you're going to need those volunteers to raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, and we've had some turnover, as you would expect during COVID. Some are just deciding to do other things. So there's a need. We have areas in development and marketing, of course, and administrative areas. And even if you're into entertaining and hosting parties, we could really use some help with helping out with those receptions at the end of our concerts each cycle. So there's lots of areas we need help with. Even also writing thank you cards to our donors or our patrons is really fun. That's part of development right now, and we could use a hand in that area. And so yeah, there's lots of room. We could use all kinds of help. Anybody that wants to do something, we would love to put you in.
I love that. And boy, what a better way to be a part of the solution in making music than to volunteer. Speaking of solutions, there was a need in our community and in our schools, and Tacoma Concert Band stepped up in a big way. I just had this vision of everybody in that band stepping up on a conductor's podium, because that's exactly what happens in terms of the attitude and the wonderful spirituality within that concert band. Tell us about some of those opportunities for teachers and students. And let's start with you first, Maestro. What are we doing out there in the community?
Well, yeah, Amanda, I want to comment on something you just said too, that I'd like everybody to know about the Tacoma Concert Band and the support of our music programs around the state. There was an email that went out from our state organization, WMEA, the Washington Music Educators Association, last year, stating that due to COVID and canceling conferences and revenue, that they were on the verge of bankruptcy. This was huge, because this organization is our state organization for advocacy of the arts. And so I wanted to just say that a lot of us in the profession wanted to do something and step up. Tacoma Concert Band specifically stepped up with an enormous donation to the state organization to help fund them. And because of Tacoma Concert Band's efforts, they were able to make it through this dark period and are solvent and moving forward, and it looks like they're going to have a healthy future. So I can't thank the board of directors and the members of the Tacoma Concert Band for stepping up, for helping all of our public schools in the state, which is it's very inspiring to me.
Oh, that is impressive.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we do have a lot of different well, we have a new fellowship, basically, is what I want to talk about. It's the Tacoma Concert Band Conducting Fellowship. And this is new. It just started during COVID, actually. So we suspended it for a year, but it's back on again. And public school teachers submit applications for the fellowship. And there's a committee that looks at these applications and each year selects a public school teacher who is in their first 5 years of teaching as a fellow in the fellowship, they get mentored by numerous people that are members of the ensemble that have backgrounds in education, but most specifically with me, doing things like I'll go into school visits. We help to create repertory programs for their concerts. We do score study together. I'm basically there to help them with whatever they need help with. And it's a year-long fellowship. Our first fellow is, his name is Tristan Rausch. And he's just getting underway with us this year. We're really excited about that.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And Morris, I know there's more that you have been doing. So in this, give me 30 seconds of the rest of the story.
Sure. So we also have our student solo competition that's happening this year, which is so exciting for us. We've been running this program, the student solo competition, since 1990. And we've had, just some incredible musicians that come out of this program. So we really want to spread the word. We've just posted it. The deadline for applying is November 12th. And if any teachers out there, private instructors, parents, spread the word. We want everyone, as many students as we can, get involved.
I love that. You said something that kind of segues into my next question for you. When you said posted, you have a new social media announcement, Morris. What is it?
Well, if you noticed or can't find our old Facebook page, it is because it has been decommissioned and we are freshening things up this season. And so you'll find a new Facebook page, Tacoma Concert Band Facebook page. What you're going to see are a little more, you might find some more information about each of our band members, some quirky information about our band members. You're going to find out information about our student solo competition, of course, previous winners. You'll see lots of information on there that I think you'll enjoy.
I love that. And you said quirky. I can't help but think about when Darth Vader made an appearance last year during the holidays and challenged Santa to a duel, and everybody in the Pantage just loved it. So yeah, that's just an example of some of the fun quirkiness amidst the seriousness of the music of the concert band. My last question, of course, is, Jared, who do we need to thank?
Oh my gosh, everybody. So first and foremost, I want to thank the members of the ensemble of the Tacoma Concert Band for persevering through this challenging time. And, as a Marine myself, it's like we have a phrase, it's adapt and overcome. And these members have done that. So I want to thank all of them for hanging in there and for what we have on the horizon here. I also want to thank our board of directors who works tirelessly for this organization, and all of the volunteers that we do have right now that work really hard. We could use more. If everybody helps a little, no one has to work a lot, which is why we're looking for a few more volunteers. And then finally, of course, Amanda, I want to thank all of our supporters, our donors, who have continued to help us through this challenging time. And of course, you, Amanda, I want to thank you because I miss you and I'm so glad to see you.
Well, I miss you too. And I want to thank you both so much for being here today. And that is a wrap on our Tacoma Concert Band. I will see you in person in December, and we have much more to come on CityLine. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
While consumer use of electronics continues to grow, the environmental footprint continues to shrink thanks to lighter, less material-intensive, and more energy-efficient products. The Consumer Technology Association and its members want to help minimize environmental impacts by making recycling old tech devices as easy as buying new ones. Your old TV, smartphone, or computer can give new life to new products. Go to greenergadgets.org, put in your zip code, and find convenient drop-off locations. Live green, buy green, and recycle responsibly at greenergadgets.org.
Welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have somebody who, every time I get to be around her, I leave feeling so much better because she's so passionate about what she does and she's so intelligent. And all of that is so infectious in a very good way. I'm talking about Donna Ponapito from the United Way. She is their president and CEO, and she's here to talk about their 100th birthday and the celebration campaign and all the wonderful activities that we get to take part in. Hello, Miss Donna.
Good morning, Amanda. How are you?
I am well, and it's so good to see you, my dear.
Good to see you.
Really, 100 years. You celebrated that in May. And when I think about where we were 100 years ago, it's so applicable. There's some things that are the same in terms of maybe dealing with the effects of a pandemic, the needs of people. So tell us, what did you do for that 100th birthday back in May?
Well, yes, and you know what, we're going to celebrate all year long.
That's right.
So May 14th was our official birthday, and we held a birthday bash, which was a food drive, and it was a drive-through food drive, which was a lot of fun. Lakewood, Puyallup, and downtown Tacoma. And it was just really fun to see the community come together. We had a band playing music at the Tacoma site, and we were able to provide over 1,500 pounds of food to local food banks. So it was just a really fun way to get started and with celebrating this 100 years of being in our community.
It sounds like it was the perfect kickoff. So speaking of that, there's another date on the calendar, and that date happens to be in a few weeks, September 21st, 2021. What's going to happen on that day?
So that day, we want everyone to come out virtually and rally with us and take this amazing ride through United Way's 100-year history at our Centennial Rally. And it's going to be pretty fun. And we're calling it Revving Up for the Next 100 Years. And, originally, like most events that are happening were happening for the fall, it was going to be a lot. It was going to be in person. Then it was, hybrid, and now it's going to be virtual. But I know that we're doing it in conjunction with the LeMay Museum. So I think it's just going to be a great time for all of us to rally together to celebrate our 100th year and to really kick off our public phase of our $8 million Centennial campaign. And our Centennial campaign is called Creating Possibilities Together. And it really just reflects this optimistic spirit that United Way has, and this beautiful, magical relationship that we've had, for 100 years with our community.
So beautifully said. And I'm looking at the beautiful graphic behind you, which, boy, if I can look at a baby in the air every single day, that would be exactly how I would need to start my day and remind myself about what community is all about.
Yeah.
And what we also, I always call myself an ancestor in training, where my focus needs to be. So let's talk about some of those changes you've seen. I mean, Donna, you're not 100 years old, far from it, but you are incredibly informed. So what does the numbers tell us? What kind of research are we looking at that tells us this has definitely changed?
Well, when we think back to, 100 years and celebrating, the impact in community, we have invested as a United Way over $350 million back into this community. And, we have this bold goal of lifting 15,000 households out of poverty by 2028 and into self-sufficiency. And so we know we have a lot of work to do, and the pandemic, we are still going through, has shown that we're a pretty resilient community. And United Way has been, we've been so fortunate to have such great partnerships out in the community. There's more collaborations, not just with the nonprofit community, but with the public and the private sector as well. And coming up with creative solutions and looking really at how philanthropy can be more engaged in supporting the issues and the needs out there in the community. So it's, there have been lots of transformative, changes that have happened over, this 100 years. But I think the key to it is that we don't do this alone. We mobilize, our whole focus is about mobilizing that caring power, of community to really tackle those issues that we all care about. And we, even through this pandemic, as you mentioned at the beginning, when you think back 100 years and everything that was going on 100 years ago, and compare it to the things that are going on now with COVID, and that, that resilience and that creativity to pivot and to really figure out, all right, how do we get through this and how do we get through it together?
Absolutely. Beautifully said. Donna, when you think about the other C word, we've got changes, then we've got challenges. And sometimes the challenges are just the same over those 100 years because it's the human condition. But if you could give me challenges that we're facing right now, because this is hard. This is so hard to be in our bubble, in our mask. People are going out, but they're not necessarily looking around to see how our community's doing. So what changes and have we seen that you need help with?
Well, I think some of the biggest changes have just been heightened since COVID. So you've got, housing, has been an ongoing issue, affordable housing. And our work, with 211 and the agencies that, provide those kinds of services, figuring out ways how we ensure that people have a roof over their head. We talk about the ALICE population, the asset limited, income constrained, employed. ALICE is still having a hard time. ALICE is still struggling. And being able to, have family wage jobs, childcare, putting food on the table, food insecurity, I'm thinking about it, Amanda, food insecurity is an issue in this country. It shouldn't be, and, we have organizations out there every day that are making sure that people are fed that day. And we need to really figure out ways to solve for those issues. So, it's those basic needs kinds of things that are still, the biggest challenges. I also think, the whole idea of financial well-being and ensuring, that people, can not just to move individuals out of crisis, but to move them to a place where they're thriving. It's, one of my board members said one time, it's not enough for someone to be self-sufficient. That's just, they're barely making it, even self-sufficient. It's really to get them a place where they're thriving. And I think that's, what so many people are focused in on. And that's the positive thing about this community. And I love it about Pierce County is that, we come together. And, we may not always have all the answers, but we're there to try and work to figure out how we can make things better. And I think with all the challenges that we have facing us, being able to come together as a community it has been, is what's going to get us through the next 100 years.
Oh, boy, that's exactly right. And, it's when we think about the United Way and all that they do for us, you mentioned that volunteer word and partnerships and collaborations, and all of that has continued to move forward despite COVID and despite the variant. I had heard a rumor that there was going to be, hopefully in May 2023, a gala where we could all come together and continue to celebrate. If people want to volunteer right now, and this is hard, Donna, because we have to keep our social distancing in mind, but we also have neighbors that we want to step outside and think about. And you mentioned hunger. What's the best way for people to volunteer and make a difference in the hunger in people's lives right now?
Well, we have, check out our website to find out more about our centennial celebration. We want as many people to come as possible, but we have, what we have set up, there are a lot of do-it-yourself activities. So there's always snack packs that, organizations or individuals or families, going onto our website at www.uwpc.org and look for volunteer opportunities, getting involved. And there's a whole host of things that someone can do, from putting together snack packs, hygiene kits, soup kits. So there are a variety of things that individuals can do. And yes, we hope, our hope is May of 2023, we will be able to come together to celebrate the close of our centennial campaign.
Absolutely. So your event on the 21st of September, it is a virtual event, and it starts at a very interesting time. I do a lot of events, and I noticed I'm like 5:14. Why is this event so clearly designated to start at 5:14, Donna?
Yes, so why 5:14? And by the way, thank you for being our wonderful MC at our event next week as well. So I'm glad you asked that question. And I would say that folks would need to attend to find out more about why 5:14. And if you listened carefully at the beginning, I think I gave you the answer to why it's 5:14. But we're really excited. It's going to be a great time to celebrate. We have our co-chairs to our centennial campaign, Todd and Teresa Silver, wonderful community leaders, Jim Walton, also, and Debbie Bingham. And the Bingham family have been longtime supporters of the community, along with our annual campaign chairs this year, which is Bill Robertson with Multi-Care and Jackie Flowers with TPU. So we've got some great leadership, and we're just really excited to bring the community together to celebrate.
I love that. Well, Donna, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today. And I will see you on the 21st.
See you then.
All right. That wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It's always a pleasure and privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about. But above all, get yourself vaccinated and wear your mask. And when you come back, as always, I'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.
You're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. All right, you're from the easy. All right, you're from Green Bay. All right, you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. From the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. Place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. All right, you're from the East Coast. All right, you're from the West. All right, you're from the middle, but Tacoma's still the best.